Welcome to sports, everybody. After being sworn in last week as the new Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Dr. Daniel Johnson, looking to get straight to work. At the top of his list is improving the country's sports tourism product.
What we're going to do is create the linkages between everything now. We have in the Bahamas wonderful opportunities, but it's fragmented. So we have pieces of a puzzle. All the pieces are in place. And my job now at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture is to bring all of the pieces of the puzzle together in one fell swoop, where now we got a full puzzle that we can use. And the reason we want to concentrate on sports tourism, it is new. It is something that everybody can get involved with, but it's going to generate jobs, jobs, jobs. You'll be surprised how many jobs we can generate, but it will help the taxi cabs, it'll help the hotels, it'll help the restaurants, it'll help the vendors, it'll help the breeders, so that the effect of having a sports tourism plant rolling, we know will produce dividends for everybody.
Now, Dr. Johnson also talked about the kind of money his ministry is looking to generate from the sports tourism sector. Immediately, you're looking at tens of millions of dollars. We can get it to the point where if we're not just Nassau-centric, sports, we got to expand what we think of as sporting activities, into the other types of sailing, into major boxing events, into major car racing events, into major aviation events. There are major events that go around the world, and there's no reason why there's a following that follow events around the world. So we want to attract sports events now to the Bahamas that people would otherwise travel to other places for. Well, it appears the process of certifying the track at the new Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium is underway. We get that story tonight from Charles Fisher.
Matthew Cohen, Managing Director of Trackmasters International, have been in the Bahamas for the last 2 days doing the necessary inspections, a process that requires the utmost attention.
I'm checking to make sure that the surface is even, that there's no bumps or dips or anything that anyone could trip over, that it's a good finish. Then I'm checking how thick the material is. We're making a probe test in hundreds of places all around to make sure that it's the proper thickness so that the spikes won't go all the way through, the spikes of the athlete's running shoes. I'm checking the force reduction, which is how much it goes down when the athlete runs on it, the vertical deformation, how much the rubber compacts, how quickly it comes back. I'm going to check the skid resistance to make sure it's not slippery. I'm going to check the levels of the track because there's quite strict rules. I'm going to check the levels of the landing areas to make sure that no one throwing something at this venue has an advantage over somebody else throwing something like the javelin, for example, at another venue. Make sure that the landing area isn't sloping downwards. I'm going to check the long jump, the triple jump, the landing areas of the sand pits, the javelin arc, the pole vault runways, the sectors for the throwing circles. We're going to check the 100 metre, the 110, 200, 400, 800, 1500, everything.
And with all that to do, just how long will the process take?
It's going to take me probably 3 or 4 days to collect all the data, but then I've got some number crunching to do back in the office, and that will probably take me another 2 or 3 days on top of that.
Cohen is praising the Chinese and those that worked on the stadium so far for a job well done and making his work smooth.
So far, everything seems to have been done to a very high standard.
If all goes well, next month's B3's Nationals Olympic Trials may just be held in the new Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
And finally in the segment, our Bahamian high school baseball players continuing to make a name for themselves abroad. Anthony Seymour, Todd Isaacs, and Lucius Fox have helped the American Heritage Stallions from Delray Beach into the Florida 3A State Tournament for the first time since 2007. The Stallions will play in the second semifinal set for 4 p.m. next Wednesday against the Saints of St. Petersburg Catholic, that is. The winner there will play the winner of Tampa Prep and Providence out of Jacksonville for the championship next Thursday. And that will do it for sports, but stay tuned, your weather forecast is still to come.